the Economic Forum in January 21, which will serve as a global summit devoted to the Great Reset. This summit will bring the decision makers physically to Davos, but it will be interconnected with a virtual twin summit driven by the young generation, our global shapers. They will integrate over 400 hubs into the dialogue of Davos and ensure that the Global Reset Initiative is really forward-looking and takes into account the voices of all who are left behind.
This has always been the plan and the agenda.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
By the year 2020, the negative impact of population growth.
Al Gore, the UN Secretary General, and others are now demanding for the Great Reset of global capitalism. The economic, social, and political chaos caused by the COVID-19 outbreak and Black Lives Matter protests have for months captured the attention of virtually every American. But while most Americans have been preoccupied with protests and pandemics, a potentially bigger story has managed to slip beneath the radar. A growing movement among the world's most powerful leaders to call for a reset of the entire global economy. At a meeting hosted by the highly influential World Economic Forum, powerful officials from nonprofits, government, business, academy, labor, unions, and activist groups announced their plan for a great reset of global capitalism. It's a proposal they acknowledge has only been made possible because of the opportunity provided by the economic destruction caused by the novel coronavirus. The World Economic Forum meeting featured a powerful lineup of global leaders, all of whom seemingly agreed the Great Reset is necessary to rebalance economies, promote fairness, and create greater equity within the societies and among nations. Now I'm going to read a few names off of this list. The supporters and attendees of the meeting included Prince Charles, the Secretary General of the United Nations, the CEO of MasterCard, Bernard Looney, the CEO of BP, and the chief economist at the International Monetary Fund, IMF, among many others. Some of the other goals within this include, and this is their title, this digital solution could restart global travel and trade.
CommonPass is a platform that lets people safely and securely collect their health information, whether it is a negative COVID test result or eventually a record of a COVID vaccination, manage that information, control it themselves, and then be able to let that information be used to demonstrate that they have had a negative test or they have been vaccinated.
Eventually, what we'll have to have is certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person. So eventually there will be this digital immunity proof.
So they can get on an airplane or travel to another country. For countries, it gives them the ability to actually know confidently that this person who wants to come visit them can actually safely be admitted into their country without risk of exposing other people in the country to COVID.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world. Rebalancing investment.
We will now start a quite high number of task forces to look at all the different issues, and we will present all those ideas to the people assembled in Davos.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increased by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So we have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create a fair world.
Just look at face recognition, just look at the technologies which you need for tracking people and so on. But then look also what we are seeing now with some of the companies engaged into the research for vaccines, using completely new methods based on synthetic biology.
The Great Reset. Drawing from the vision and vast expertise of the leaders engaged across the forum's communities, the Great Reset initiative has a set of dimensions to build a new social contract that honors the dignity of every human being. There's the United Nations, much needed Great Reset, World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, IMF. This says we can emerge from this crisis a better world if we act quickly. The Great Reset is coming.